ridiculous.
Why? Because men like to catcall women. If I wear a short skirt, I get harassed when I walk down the street.
Here's, well, there is a way to prevent that. How about you not wear short skirts or
no.
revealing clothing?
No,
Look,
it does.
it's risk assessment. It's about, look, nobody can control the actions of somebody else. I'm not saying that because a woman is wearing, I see your attitude. I'm not saying that because of what a woman is wearing, she deserves to be treated anyway. But I am saying, imagine a girl was walking out butt ass naked and a guy says nice tits. Wasn't she kind of not protecting the value or respecting herself in a way by walking out butt naked?
I mean, I could say the exact same thing to a dude.
Well, yeah, my dick was hanging out, and my peen. If my peen was hanging out, and the girl was like, "Your penis is small," or "Your peen is small," or "Nice peen," as a guy, I wouldn't go out naked because I'm not, I'm fat and I'm not really secure in having my peen out for the public. But I don't believe, in my heart of all hearts, I don't believe that just because someone says something that to them in their own mind might come across as a compliment is actually causing the person that's been complimented. I don't believe, no matter how many times women explain it, I don't believe that woman is now a victim because they were complimented. You get where I'm coming from? I mean, maybe I'm explaining it in a way that you don't like it, but I'm just telling you, I don't. I'm just hold on. I'm just telling you from a man's perspective. I don't view someone complimenting you, even if it's a compliment that you don't like. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form, even if you explained it to me a million times. I don't believe that someone yelling nice ass or you're beautiful or I like your hair or you look nice today, even if the woman didn't like the person that was given the compliment, it's still a compliment. Even if the person did it in a way that came across as creepy, I don't believe that makes the woman all of a sudden become a victim because a guy said something in a way or even said something she didn't like. Does that make sense? Like I'm not saying that the woman isn't just in her disgust. I'm not saying she's not allowed to argue that she didn't like it or that it came across creepy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't believe for a second that a man complimenting a woman somehow makes her a victim. And with that, I'll yield and let you respond. You're muted.
Okay, well, my husband had to make himself some chicken nuggets, so I had to kind of mute.
Where's my chicken nuggets, boy? I can't hear you.
I'm talking to.
Okay.
Yeah. But my
private conversation about the chicken nuggets.
Yes. Yeah, it's about the chicken nuggets. Anyway, But personally, I don't like it when a guy does that because it makes me feel like a piece of meat. Like, because whenever, like, it makes me feel like livestock a little bit. I don't particularly care for it. Now, you can say overall that I'm beautiful or that I'm pretty, and I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm really not. Like, honestly, ask around. Somebody could like ask around, ask my friends. I have literally a random guy has literally walked up to me and said, "Hey, I think you're beautiful," and I have not gotten mad. That is a gentleman-like catcall, and I'm not going to get mad at somebody that compliments me the right way.
I don't think that would be defined as a catcall. I think that would just be a compliment. A catcall would be something like yelling across the street, "Nice ass, nice titties, nice body, come have sex with me," something. That would be called a catcall. Him walking up to you and saying, "Hey, I find you attractive. I and if you say
And
I'm
whatever
married."
happened to women getting feisty back? And if a guy says, hey, I want to have sex with you," just be like, "In your fucking dreams." Um,
Well, I think women are still doing that. Trust me.
well,
But I want a response to what I said. I want to know if you understand where I'm coming from. From a man's perspective, I don't agree for 1 second that just because a man across the street or in your presence gives you a compliment, that even if it's a good compliment or a bad compliment, I don't believe for 1 second that in turn somehow makes you now a victim. It might be disrespectful or disgusting or something you don't like, but I don't believe, from my perspective, as a man, I want you to hear me out. Do you kind of see where I'm going with this? That just because someone compliments you in a way, or even a compliment by itself, just because someone has complimented you, I don't agree for 1 second that that now turns you into being a victim.
if she feels gross about it, then yeah, if she feels gross about it, it would depend on a case by case basis.
Well, just because you feel gross about something, it doesn't make you a victim. It just means you don't like the approach. You don't like the way
Well,
it.
that's when the girl needs to say, "Hey, don't fucking talk to me like that," and just say,
Like, think about it this way.
and then that's when your own community also needs to say, "Hey, maybe the reason why the girl reacted that way is because of the disrespectful approach that you had about it." I promise you, if you were a lot kinder and you were a lot more respectful with the compliment, I promise you she probably would have taken it better and you probably would have gotten a number out of it. Like that's
Let
probably see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I don't care if somebody says that I'm beautiful or that I'm sexy. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. But don't go at certain parts because that means that you're not paying it. Because that means that you're looking at me as a piece of meat. I don't like that at all. I
All
don't
right.
like
Let me
that.
still man. Let me still man what you just said. You said you don't like to be victimized when you've warned them ahead of time. Am I right? Isn't that what you just said?
Do what?
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. If you say you don't want to be victimized, if you told them what they're doing is wrong, correct?
If they do something wrong, then yeah.
Right. So now that we agree on what you said, let me ask you this. There's a difference between a man who compliments you. You are not a victim at that point. But if he compliments you and you say, "I appreciate it, I'm married, I don't think my husband would like you to do that," and he continues to do that, and he's being a little abrasive, I would say you are now a victim. But the compliment itself does not make you a victim. You get where I'm coming from?
Like if the like being harassing the guy.
No, I'm saying let's just go into a dream world scenario. Guy walks up to you and says, "I find you very attractive," and you say, "I appreciate the compliment. I'm married," and he doesn't take that as a "I need to stop complimenting you," and he continues to compliment you, and you'd be like, "Hey, respectfully, with all due respect, I appreciate the compliment, but I don't think my husband would be okay with you doing what you're doing." And if he continues, now you're a victim. But the initial compliment, "Hey, I think you're beautiful," does not make you a victim.
Yeah, the initial, "Hey, I think you're beautiful," that's fine. Don't
Right.
I would say this little tip for guys. Don't go don't go for the body parts, okay? Go for the overall human being, okay? If that's gonna have
Even
a lot,
like
that
I'm
is,
even
I'm saving a guy's ass at this point.
right.
Don't go, okay? I'm just saying because a lot of girls will react very negatively to you reacting and complimenting a specific body part.
I'm
Guys,
not. I'm
I'm
not.
saying this. Take my advice, okay? Take my advice. Say somebody's beautiful or pretty. That has a lot more respectful and that will go over a lot better. And you will typically get a much more positive response than if you go for somebody's specific body part. That's considered
Right.
disrespectful. That can be
Well,
perceived as sexualizing them a little too much and not being very gentlemanlike. Okay.
right.
Little tip. If you want to kindly catcall the girl and say, "Hey, I think you're beautiful," then that's perfectly fine. But don't say, "Hey, nice tits," because that's highly inappropriate. And you're sexualizing
Well,
her,
I
making her
agree.
uncomfortable.
I'm not saying that a guy who does that to a girl is is appropriate or proper. What I am saying
Well, teach
that
a guy how to do it properly.
hold
Let me-
on, hold on. Let me get there. Let me get there. What I'm trying to get at is even if we include the men that say nice ass or nice tits, I'm not saying that that's appropriate. I'm not saying that's normal. I'm not saying that should be the norm or accepted or respected. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is someone who catcalls a woman and yells out, "You look good," or "You look pretty," or "You have nice body," whatever. The initial compliment might not be appreciated by the woman, might not be the appropriate way to go about it. But what I'm telling you from a man's perspective, I don't believe for 1 second that someone who compliments a woman, even if it's a body compliment, I don't agree for 1 second that that somehow makes her a victim. Now, if he continues and harasses and does negative, disrespectful connotations or doesn't just back the fuck off, that makes her a victim. Do you at least understand that much? I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming
I can, but at the same time, I have to, I have to, as a female MRA, it is my responsibility to say, "Hey, don't, gentlemen, hey, as a fellow woman, I would feel degraded as well if you
from.
compliment and said
Yeah,
nice tits." I no,
well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But
just like
before
I'm just
we dive
saying,
into what should
learn
be,
to guys, learn to properly catcall a woman. Do not go for any body part that is considered inappropriate, that is considered not being very gentlemanlike,
I'm
that is crass, and that is
I know
disrespectful.
you have
No,
repeated that. You have made that clear. But
no.
before we dive into what should happen, I want to make sure you can see it from a man's perspective. That just because someone says something that's a compliment, even if it's something you don't like what they said, or even if a lot of times it's not what's said, it's who's saying it. Like if a bum says you're beautiful, girls will say he's a creep. If a attractive man says she's beautiful, she'll be like, woohoo, I won the lottery. The point is, the point is, I want you to understand that while I agree that complimenting a woman's body part doesn't make her happy and doesn't make her comfortable and doesn't like, I can agree that it's not appropriate to do that. It's not the right way to do it. Do you understand? I heard you, and I've understood that that's not appropriate. Okay? Now that we've agreed to that, a lot of people might not agree with me on this.
I
But
don't agree with you.
I'm just telling you from my perspective. I don't agree that it makes you a victim just because someone compliments you. I don't believe it's a catcall just because someone walks up and says, hey, I think you're beautiful. Now, if they go pushy and they go beyond that and they go beyond the respectful gesture of just complimenting you and you've made it clear, hey, I'm married and I don't like the attention you're giving me, and they're pushy, then I would agree you're a victim. But the initial, hey, you're beautiful or nice ass or nice this, I agree that saying nice ass or nice titties or whatever is very inappropriate, does not make a woman happy, and does not make a woman that damn moth in my house. It does not it does not make a woman attracted to you. She doesn't like to hear it. She doesn't like those compliments. She doesn't think it's appropriate. It makes her feel creepy, or sorry, it makes her feel like the guy is being creepy when they do that. It's just not appropriate. The same thing goes that men should not be sending dick pics, peen pics, whatever. The, the fact that men are sending peen pics, that feeling that women go through about how it gives you the ick factor, the same
Mhm.
thing goes for complimenting a woman on her body parts. It gives them the ick factor. So tell your husband he better save me at least one chicken nugget, bro. I'm playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell him I'll chip in for a chicken nugget bag.
Hey, look, I got dino nuggies.
But
I
look at
got
it.
uh
What?
I got dino nuggies.
Oh yeah. Well, let's finish this because we kind of went off on a tangent. But I just want you to understand from my perspective. I know that hitting a woman, um, invading a woman's bubble, um, saying creepy things, all these things dive into the creepy, disrespectful, not appropriate vibe. Complimenting a woman on her body part, probably, definitely not the best way to do it. But I just don't believe in my heart of all hearts, my mind of all minds, my spirit of all spirit, that just because a man compliments a woman, that somehow makes her a victim. And even if nobody agrees with me, that's my belief. And but I want you to finish this because the whole purpose of this video is talking about um, how the society reacts when the woman hits the boy, and if the boy responds